Hey guys, welcome back. It's Drawing My Life now, and today I promised I'd do the lips tutorial. And so this lips tutorial is more of a realistic lips, so it's not really like the lips you see in my other pictures when you color them. So this is more like the shading, and you want to use this in more realistic drawing type things. So what I'm using is my HB drawing pencil. Now, this came in a kit, and I've been using it ever since, so yeah. The next thing I am using is my General's Layout Ebony Pencil number 555. This is for the darker areas, like under the teeth and in the side around here. Now, next I'm using two Tortillions. They're both medium sized, but that doesn't really matter. One that's used and one that is either lightly used or not used at all. And I'm using one that's not used at all because I have all of mine pretty dirty and filled up with graphite. So I just decided to get a new one for the sake of this video. And so this should work out pretty well since it's new. Now for the erasers, I'm just using my kneaded eraser, just normal for some highlights, and then also for any mistakes I make, I'm just using my big Factus eraser. Now to get on with the drawing of it, the sides of it are going to be a little more curved. Now what I've seen people do in the past is take it and go straight up like that, and then go down. And that does not look like lips at all. So don't do that. And I've also seen people who do straight lines like that. Now that's not going to look good either. So don't do that. The technique of doing this is start with your little corner area and kind of curve it up a bit. And kind of just do your stroking techniques and kind of curve it up. And then kind of make it so it looks like kind of like a snake type thing. And then I'll go back down in the middle, kind of make sure it's curved, and right back up, so the loop. And do the same thing on the other side. So let's do that. Okay, so once you've done that, it should look something like just this upper half. So this upper half, as you can see, it just has that, and then you can just draw the line across. It doesn't really take that much effort to draw. Just like add the corners and just draw it over. And then you can also draw a line under it if you're doing the teeth. If you're not, then when you have it, just make that one line. And make sure to add that dip in it as well when you're doing it. Okay, so now let's get on to the bottom portion. Now the bottom portion right here, as you can see, it's not connected. Now what some people make the mistake for is they'll connect their lines. Now when you connect the lines, that's only if you're like the person's wearing lipstick type thing, but don't make the outline all the way up. You can use the tortillon to kind of make the outline, but you don't really need to. But so all I suggest is kind of line it up from your corner and just kind of draw a divot. Now you don't want to make the divot too big or too small, because if you made it right here, there's barely any lip there. And this is more like what they call duck face. Like a duck face, like they'll kind of pushing the lips out of it. So yeah, so that's why you don't want to make it too small. So now for the teeth. The teeth technique, there's not really much technique in there. Now these teeth aren't going to be very detailed, so it's not like you have to spend a lot of time on them. But kind of just make the two front teeth a little bigger. And just kind of curve them in. Don't make it so it's like box teeth. We're not SpongeBob here. We're not doing SpongeBob teeth. But for the side ones, you want to keep that same thing going. Just make them a little thinner, as you can see. And there you go. That's usually the teeth technique I use. Now, I pre-drew this in ahead because I was having troubles and I didn't want to show you guys the trouble and have to cut out a lot of the video. So I just decided to just do this all and kind of just draw it and then kind of tell you guys about it and do it off to the side here. But so now what we're going to do is draw the highlights. Now the highlights are going to go what I mean, you can do it however you want. This is just how I do it. I do 2 curved on either side. Kind of follow the lip around. And then what I'll do is, don't do these hard either, because you just won't be coloring these in, is what you'll be doing. And leave spaces in between. What I'll do is then I'll do 4. Now, they are not going to be lined up. You don't want them lined up because they're kind of facing towards the other way. So they're kind of facing a little bit towards, they'll be facing towards a little bit of their left or right, I think. I don't know about you guys for the camera, but they're kind of just tilting, so make sure you add that. So now what we're going to do is get on to the darker colored work. Now what you want to do is outline it with your darker color. Now you can use a Prismacolor pencil or anything you really have. Just you could press a little harder down on your pencil if you want. That would also work. But this method works best for me. And then you can outline the teeth, but don't outline the lines of the teeth. Just like the sides. Don't outline these inner parts right here. And then what you want to do is just pretty much color this pitch black, so it's black, obviously. And try not to leave any white spaces. And so the reason for that is because you won't be using a tortillon on this specific part, because that really uses up your tortillon. And tortillons are expensive as they are. Like, they can be pretty expensive. But, you know, if you got, you can always buy more, but like, yeah. But, yeah. So, yeah. As you can see, I kind of messed up a little over there because I got a little shaky, but that's okay because you can always erase, or if you can kind of like just keep going. Now the shading technique I'm going to use, I always start on the top lip first. The shading technique I use is kind of arch lined like so. I'll do that in the middle. As you can see, I'll do that, and then I'll kind of just make different wavy lines that way. And then what I'll do is I'll make one over here on either side, so I know like kind of where to stop, because this is all going to be darker and used for tortillon on the other side. And now what you want to do is kind of shape your lines so that they're going in the direction of what you drew this line. So they're kind of going in the same direction. And as you can see, that's what it's going to be. Now, take your non-very used tortillon, or you can use like a Kleenex or your finger, and kind of just on the top and the bottom, and on the sides, just do the straight line. But everywhere else, you want to kind of use that same technique where you're drawing the lines kind of at the angled type thing, where you're doing like the curved. And then over here, what you want to do is kind of just draw in something over there, and take your darker colored pencil and just draw like a little bit of a curved thing on that side, and then take your very used tortillon and kind of just blend that out. So it's not just like boom, black. You just want to like kind of blend it in a bit, and then take your pencil again and kind of just really quickly just go over doing that same curve technique. And now do the same thing on this side. Only on this side, what you're going to be doing is going the opposite way. So it's the same technique as before. And sometimes your lines can get a little like unevenly curved. Like sometimes they'll go like that, sometimes they'll go like that. Sometimes they'll be straighter. That's okay, because that's what you're using the tortillon for. So you don't see the lines as much, but you still like see them. So what I'm going to do now is, again, use the tortillon. And what you can do is not pick up your tortillon and kind of just color it in and shade it in, but that makes it a lot darker, as you can see. So you can see the darkness difference. If I just did that on this side, it'd make it darker. So that's kind of used for darker lips. But right now, I'm not really doing darker lips, but since I already did it, And make sure to do that middle part with the tortillon as well. And kind of just make sure you redraw those lines because they can't get erased with the tortillon. And then make sure you get the corner with the tortillon. And get your little curved thing in the corner. And sorry if you can see my hair. The reason for that is that the light kind of casts a shadow because I don't have one to my left. So yeah. So it kind of casts like a glare on that side so I can't really see. But, so now what you're just going to do is kind of blend it out with your used tortillon. And then what you want to do is take your darker color marker, pencil. And what you want to do is kind of, not as hard as the pitch black, but what I like to do is add 2 lines on either side, kind of curve in the same direction. And those are for the cracks in your lips. So that's what I use that for. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is the bottom lips. Now, it's the same technique, but you don't need to do it as neat, because I do this a lot messier than what I do. It turns out I do it really messy. So, that's what I'm going to do. It's just kind of, because the tortillon is pretty much the only thing I count on during this bottom lip. And the bottom lip, that reason is because the bottom lip is a bigger surface, so the tortillon I like using it on bigger surfaces, and it makes it look better, because then you can't see his lines. But smaller lines, like on the lips, if I just left it, it'd be okay. But on this, you're going to be seeing it more often, because it's going to be really the thing that I think pops. When I open a sketchbook and I see this, it's usually, this is what I look at first. The bottom lip is what usually gets me attracted to it. Like that's what I usually see first. And so what I'm going to be doing on the bottom here is not using the tortillon in the direction I did it. I did the shading. Now the reason you do that is because it still does leave back lines. Like when you do that technique, you can see there's still lines here. But yeah, so using the tortillon just kind of evens out those lines and makes them not as popping out, as you could say. And I'm just gonna get all the way in between the cracks of the little highlight parts. Just kind of make sure you get around it there. And then what you're gonna do is take your kneaded eraser and get in those highlights. And then what you want to do is go over it again with this part, usual, and then you should be done. Now that's really it for this tutorial. This was the set of lips. So yeah, so there's not really much else to this set of lips. That's all I can really tell you about it. And yeah, so I'm just gonna sign it here. And there we go. Now you can take your used tortillon and do some little shading around the teeth if you want. I don't usually do that. The teeth are usually white, so you can do that. And you can always add more teeth on the side because it looks like your kind of just has those couple teeth in there, but it does have all those teeth, so yeah, you can kind of even that out. And if you like this tutorial, make sure to give it a thumbs up. But also, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment. And I know I already said like, that's just kind of what I say at the end. But yeah, so that's it for today, guys. See you guys next time. Bye. Okay, guys, so sorry I'm kind of in the bed here. But I just wanted to thank you guys for the support so far. We have 15 subscribers, and that's very much a lot, because every other thing I've done, I think at one point, I've actually gotten, I think, to 30 or something like that. But so many people unsubscribed, I don't know why. But yeah, so I just wanted to thank you guys, and that was the tutorial. Now, the editing I was going to do on my computer, but I had to do it on my phone. So I was going to do this really cool intro thing that I had on my computer, but I couldn't because it wouldn't transfer correctly, and it kept, like, doing this weird stuff. And then I kind of just got caught up in, like, doing schoolwork and stuff because I have finals. But yeah, so, well, actually, I would already have finals because this is going up on Wednesday. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I accidentally did the Crayola. I didn't accidentally do the Crayola challenge. I did the Crayola challenge, and I deleted the video, and now I'm really mad at myself for deleting the video because I just went through and deleted stuff.